You have to stop believing that there's something special, and especially something that is incredibly negative, bad, failure prone in you. There isn't. You are incredibly powerful once you allow yourself to tune in to that internal drive, the internal commitment to be your best self, and that you start appreciating yourself in the process. Welcome to the Ignited Recovery Podcast, a new way forward for anyone looking for answers but feeling left out. If you've been searching for empowerment, triumph, and purpose, you've found them right here. You won't hear the same solutions, and you're not going to have any excuses to fall back on, because Ignited Recovery allows heroes to rise and become their best selves. I'm Dr. Adi Jaffe, and I can't wait to be your guide on this journey. Are you ready to become an ignited hero? Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Ignited Recovery Secrets Podcast. I'm Adi Jaffe, and the new year has just started. For some of you, Thanksgiving is like a distant memory. You can barely really put into focus. Christmas or Hanukkah, you were just holidays that you made it through, and New Year's Eve is still something you're dealing with. And for some of us, it was a really great time for reflection and joy and a real celebration of everything that we achieved and all the work we put into 2019. But for some, and you may be one of those, they've just actually been weeks of constant reminders of why you struggle, why you're in pain, why you have to change, and why you can't keep going like you have been. And if you're like so many people that I know, that means that you've made some resolutions. I like to call them wishes. And those are wishes about what you want 2020 to look like. And I get it. I used to hate my life and therefore the holiday season because it was just a glaring reminder of how badly my life had gone and how separated from everything that really matters to me I really was. But it's not anymore, and I'm hoping to use some of my lessons from my past years to maybe make 2020 better for you, because I think that you're literally this close. I'm putting my two fingers really, really close together, this close to creating the change you've always wanted in life. And it doesn't have to do with resolutions, and it doesn't have to do with wishes for what things might be like. The only thing that you really need for this is a deep, deep internal belief and a commitment to knowing that you have what it takes to get to that life. And I know a lot of you are saying, "Oh, thanks a lot. That's it. That's all I got to do. That's the secret." And yeah, that's a secret. Now, look, I know that doesn't mean it's going to be really easy. I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's really simple, and you're really close to it. Because once you recognize how powerful you are, once you believe in your actual ability to honestly create anything you want, and once you understand that no one and nothing can take you down once you're committed, and you take that time to commit to yourself no matter what, the rest is easy. And I know that in my own life, because when I hated everything and I hated my life and I was hopeless and helpless and I didn't want to do anything, every task I had to get involved in seemed like an incredible chore because it wasn't going to lead to anything anyway, and it just seemed useless and I didn't understand it. But once I made the shift into, you know what, I have to do this. This isn't an option for me. I need to get to the core version of who I am and live that true life. Everything else kind of fell into place. Because once you absolutely know that you have no option but to give every single moment in your life your best, and your best might change, but every single moment gets your best, and then you have to keep doing that day after day, because without it, you'll feel like you've given up and you're not willing to do that anymore, then some really interesting things fall into place. Like one of them is the fact that no matter what work you have to do, it doesn't even seem that hard because it doesn't matter. It's just part of the process. And any quote unquote failure you might have is just another learning experience, another thing that teaches you how to move forward in a different way than you thought before. And this is one of my favorite because it took me the longest to adopt personally. Anything that haters and doubters and those naysayers and just negative Nancys have to say about you actually fuels your action, doesn't hold you back. Because what you think in your head is, these motherfuckers have no idea what I'm going to achieve. They literally don't see the magnitude of what my life is going to end up looking like. And that means you become so excited by every improvement and every change that you can't wait to see what you might be able to achieve next. And this is how I live my life now, to be honest, right? Like when I'm recording this, it's just after Christmas. New Year's is about to happen. Like we're in the middle, other people are on vacation, whatever. I am so committed to doing the best that I can every day. You know, day after Christmas and on Christmas, I still wake up in the morning to do my workouts. I still do the things I do. Do I love waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning the day after Christmas? No, I don't love it, but it doesn't matter. It's there to serve a purpose, and that purpose is what matters. Now, the reason I'm saying it here and the reason I'm saying it right after New Year's is some of you have already fallen off on your wishes. Some of you have been told so many times that you're never going to achieve anything by so many people that you've started believing it. But I got to tell you, you are the farthest thing from a loser who's never going to get better. You're not even close to that. You're actually a winner who's been giving way too much attention to the fear and the doubts that others have been spewing about you. And the moment you realize that is the moment you'll be free of it. Check this out. The moment you realize that other people don't actually have to understand what you're doing or even understand you for you to be right about what's okay in your own life is an incredible moment. The moment you understand that your best instincts were right before they were muddied up by doubt. You know, those thoughts like, will other people like me? And am I going to fit in? Or is this the right sweater to wear to the party? Or the right car to drive so people will think I'm cool? Before those thoughts started entering into your head, and for me, those thoughts started entering my head when I was like 10 or 11. Before that, you had instincts that were right. And once you realize that, it's a pretty powerful realization. Once you realize that you're good and that you will produce good in the world and will make the world a better place when you commit to yourself, you want to do everything you can to become your best. And this one is an important one. Once you realize that there's no time that's too late and there's no age that's too old to make yourself the best you can be, then you want to start right now. You see, you have to stop looking down at yourself before anybody else will do it for you. And I'm going to give you an exercise that I shared in my weekly email to our email list. So if you're not on our email list, go to ignited.com and join there, or go to ignitedrecovery.com and watch my free online workshop. Do one of those things that gives us your email, and you'll start getting these weekly emails from me too. So I'm going to share this exercise with you. And it's a version of something that I had to learn in order to get my head out of my own ass. Okay, so I hope this will be useful for you. I want you to pick a person that you look up to in the world. It doesn't matter what field they're in. It doesn't matter if they're doing the same job you want to do. Just somebody you look up to in the world. Now, it really helps if this person is a public figure because it'll make the next step easier. Next up, I want you to research this person's life to the best of your ability. I'm not telling you this is going to take 5 minutes. Life is not easy and handed on a freaking silver platter. You might have to, yes, definitely go to Wikipedia, but maybe like buy a book or get an audiobook or go deep into your research. But you can start on Wikipedia. Read everything you can about their early life, about their family of origin, about how they got where they are today, about what their relationships have been like, what were they like as children, where does their family come from, what was the time period. Just get to know these people like it's nobody's business. Well, actually, like it's your business. Okay. Now I want you to make a list. You're almost going to make like a little table on a piece of paper. At first, you're going to identify every single hardship, obstacle, and difficulty this person had to deal with to get to where they are right now. I was doing this little exercise. I'd never done it on Warren Buffett, for instance, before. Because Warren Buffett, anybody else get this sense that Warren Buffett's like this jolly man, old man who just sits around and, smiling, having his little Coca-Cola in an office on a cushy pillow and just the nicest guy you've ever met? That's like the image I had of him. So I wanted to see, is that really true? And I dug in deeply. I'm not going to give you everything that I saw because I want you to go do some research. And if you pick Warren Buffett, then you can do that. But that dude worked hard as a kid for the first little bit of money. His dad didn't give him much because he wanted him to be a self-starter. He got rejected from graduate schools and kept moving. He had to be a pretty big hard ass in some of the original businesses, including completely fighting with the management in order to get the leg up that he ended up getting. There were a lot of opportunities for Warren Buffett to just quit in the middle. So I want you, for your person, identify every hardship, obstacle, and difficulty they've had to get to where they are right now. And then in the next column or right next to it, record everything you can find out about how they overcame each of those hardships. So this thing A came up and they did this thing to overcome it. Okay, really, really simple exercise. Each hardship and right next to it, the thing they did. Now, the last step is an important one. Don't skip this one. I want you to go back and create parallels between this person's challenges, your hero's challenges, and your own. What are some of the things they've experienced in their lives that are similar to things you experienced? Now, they don't have to be exactly the same. Like I just said, Warren Buffett, I think he applied to Harvard Business School and got rejected. You don't have to have applied to Harvard Business School. You don't even have to necessarily have applied to school and gotten rejected, but maybe you applied for a job and didn't get it, right? Something along those lines. By the way, that also happened to Warren Buffett. He literally offered this guy to work for him for free, and the guy said no. Okay. Create parallels between this hero's challenges and your own. And then what I want you to do, every one of the instances where you found a parallel, I want you to write down which of the tactics for overcoming challenges that they employed can you employ in your own life. Circle the ones you've already employed and mark with like a V or some other color the ones you haven't yet. And then also you can cross out or in some other way mark the ones that are less relevant for you in your life. Without knowing it, you just completed the first hero modeling exercise. My guess is you learn more about this person that you look up to than you ever knew before, including finding out some challenges that you never considered they'd had. And hopefully, and this is an important lesson here, you started seeing how failure and impossible or impossibilities or hurdles are actually just part of everybody's journey to being great. Now, if those are true for you, if you learn more about this person and their challenges and you understood that failure is actually just part of the path to greatness, you are well on your way to start doing and employing this lesson in your own life. This is some of the work that I do with the people I work closely with, because so many of us are so scared of failures, we don't try anything. Because somebody told us once that if you don't succeed at something, if you fail at it, you're a failure. But what we realize, a lot of these people we look up to have had many, many opportunities to fail that we knew nothing about. We've all heard about, Abraham Lincoln and J.K. Rowling and Thomas Edison with his 10,000 experiments to create the bulb. I just want you to go do one of your own. Now, like I said, I send exercises like this once a week to people on our list. So if you want to join, please do. Here's the big takeaway I want you to have from today. You have to stop believing that there's something special, and especially something that is incredibly negative, bad, failure prone in you. There isn't. You are incredibly powerful once you allow yourself to tune in to that internal drive, the internal commitment to be your best self, and that you start appreciating yourself in the process. Now, you can use that same exercise I just gave you with a bunch of different people to understand how a whole slew of different heroes you have in your own life have overcome their own challenges, so that you have new tools to understand how you can overcome challenges in your own life. God, I wish this was something somebody taught me about 30 years ago. I know looking at life through this lens has helped me a lot. It's helped a lot of my clients. I hope it helped you. If it has, do me a favor, screenshot this right now. Write what lesson you got out of this the most. Tag me at Dr. Adi Jaffe and at ignited.me on Instagram and let me know. That's what this is about. Love you all so much. Happy New Year. Happy new 2020. Hope you listened to the Wednesday episode Sophie and I did about sex and intimacy. It's pretty magical. And have a great weekend. See you next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Ignited Heroes Recovery Podcast. I really hope you found the information here useful and that we'll see you back here next week. And look, I want to make sure that this podcast is the most useful it can be for you, so please let me know by emailing info@ignited.com if there are any specific topics or questions you'd like to have addressed. As usual, if you like this episode, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review and rating. Thanks, and see you next week.